Nuclear Transparency Watch from Slovenia. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I will today present the results of the work of the Nuclear Transparency Watch on emergency preparedness and response, and it will be the complementary observation from the results of the previous speakers. So the NTW, Nuclear Transparency Watch, was formed in 2013, and at the same Congress, it was also established the Emergency Preparedness and Response Working Group. We have the aim to assess how the provisions on EPR are arranged in the Europe and in the national situation. From the civil society point of view, we have the mandate to identify key challenges, to inform the public about the findings, and to provide the guidance for the further activities on to the interest public. In the investigation, 10 countries were involved: Belgium, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, France, Germany, Ireland, Luxembourg, Ukraine, Sweden, Slovenia, involving 21 participants from 15 organizations. And we just recently published two reports. One is the summary report on the NTW on emergency preparedness and response work. It includes approximately 200 pages. And the other one is the position paper, which is very short and readable to everybody. So it's only 16 pages. Sorry. So these reports were presented to in the EU Parliament in April this year, and to the members of the EC and to the public institutions. So how we did the research? We first collected the information and do the analysis by different methods. We had several international seminars with the institutions, collecting the information on the EPR provisions. We studied how the international recommendation, which were mentioned by Mr. Tomic, what are the requirements there. We performed the desk work and reviewed the national provisions. We did the interviews and questionnaires with responsible institutions, but also in addition to that, also with the local populations, with the people from the local area. We also reviewed what was already presented by the EU study on the current off-site nuclear emergency, and we look how this is in fact presented in the national context. And we organized several transboundary roundtables. So what are the main results of our work? Through the seminars, we found out that current EPR provisions are in best a bureaucratic list of good intentions. Its plans are not really realistic. Citizens are insufficiently informed and involved. Exercise scenarios are not realistic. They are very limited and included to a specific drills or situation in which the civil society is not really included. National arrangements are very different, as was already mentioned, in methods, algorithms of models, appreciation of uncertainties, intervention levels, zoning. The distrust in this is observed in the territory around the nuclear power plants. We can see after the discussion with the people that people don't believe the information, and even worse, they don't know about the provision of the national arrangements. The post-Fukushima lesson learned, even now 4 years after the accident, is not implemented in the national plans. We also observed the EU level authorities' work and the improvements, initiatives, but still this is very slow process. And in fact, it takes a lot of time to agree and harmonize on the approaches. So the desk review and interviews with the responsible authorities and other involved in the emergency preparedness showed that there are very different approaches in the emergency planning zones, sheltering, iodine, prophylaxis, evacuation, restriction to food, and so on. You all heard from the report which was presented earlier. There is in none of the country almost no real involvement and public participation. There are almost no cross-border cooperation in place, with some exception, but public is still not involved. There are no special sheltering sites and such, really. There are some, but they are really in bad conditions. For example, some bunkers from the First World War with very limited facilities in place. There is very low percentage of people in emergency zone who took over the iodine tablets. For example, in some countries there is even below the 20% of the people who have the tablets with them. There are very different levels for evacuation, as was mentioned, and evacuation is a challenge in a real situation, because sometimes some plans envisage evacuation in the area where it's already at the rush hour traffic jams, for example, and there is only one bridge to go across the territory. So, sorry. We did several roundtables investigations. So 5 roundtables in Luxembourg, in Czech Republic, Slovenia, Bulgaria, and Ukraine. And objective was to bring together different stakeholders which are involved in the emergency preparedness, like civil protection authorities, like regulators, but also people who live across. And what we can find is that the result of this exercise was quite welcoming. So the people were very satisfied with the opportunity to meet. This was in one case even the first meeting with all involved population. For example, in Bulgaria, they were very happy because also the regulators and the civil society, the authorities met for the first time. So we believe that this should be followed in the future, because it also brings out the reality of how the EPR provisions are known within the population. In fact, many of the people attending the roundtables said that they are not informed what is going on, what are provisions. So, in fact, what was learned that much more effort should be given to the information provision to the community, not just to agreeing how the emergency preparedness should be planned. And now I will go quickly through the main findings. This is a summary of the finding of different areas in different topics. So when we look at the national EPR provision, we can say that they are outdated, they are inadequate, they don't really provide the real response for the real situation. There is a lack of efficient radiation monitoring devices available. And the local authorities are not really prepared. For example, in one community with MPP, one officer or one responsible person needs to take care about the 5 emergency protection plans, including the emergency preparedness for the nuclear accident. While assessing the plans, including the involvement of citizens. This is perhaps the major problem from the civil society point of view. They are not informed. The emergency plans exist, but they are not available for the public. And the public, they will not go and read the emergency preparedness plan. You need to provide the methods and tools how to inform them. Regarding the transboundary dimension, you heard there is a problem with harmonization, and a lot of work needs to be done within this. About the post-accident consequences, we notice requirement from the new EU legislation that there should be a post-accident recovery plans, and we are looking forward, but this is still very lacking because most of the country, they don't have it. The on-site emergency management is also a question. There is still not sufficient information available, and there is a question on the human resources on site. And last one we tackled is nuclear liability, which is in fact still not addressing well the real situation of the accident. So we also noticed the EC study on the off-site emergency preparedness, and this is the self-evaluation of the regulators, which is in fact, from the civil society point of view, a kind of problem. We don't really see the implementation of these good results of the evaluation in practice. So we also elaborate some of the recommendation. We believe that there is a need for detailed civil society organization evaluation further for each country. There is a need to change the approach and to involve also the public in the preparation and in the response. So this response and drillings and exercises should include also the transboundary levels, but also the local levels, so the people would be aware. We see that there is a need for harmonization. There is a need to develop a legal framework involving the civil society organization at each level of the preparation, and to develop a proper policy on the EU level, which should be then implemented in the national levels. We also observe some of the points which were already presented, so I will not go into this. We are planning to work further. We will do a systematic investigation of the EPNR provisions at different national and transboundary level, based on modified approach used for the EPR, which was used currently. We believe that we need to go to the public and to see how well they are prepared. We are planning to look how the requirements from the new legal framework will be implemented in the national system. And we will do so we will go for more roundtables. So this is the plan for the work for the 2015-2017. I would like to thank you for the attention, and you can read more on our web pages. Thank you very much.